You? Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order. If we don't stand for the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Mr. Hunt.
Present.
Mr. Ryan.
Here.
And Carl is excused for tonight.
Barry, you had an opportunity to review the minutes of January the 8th, 2015.
I have, sir, and I make a motion that they be approved as presented.
And I'll second that, and they'll stand approved as presented, Pat. What do you have for us? Other than a fire contract.
Yeah, well, that's your... I don't have too much, actually. We received notification from the county, Bert Dawson, about the mileage certification for this year. Mel and I were just discussing it, and we're both going to pull the paperwork. I didn't pull what matched it, but I do believe it's going to be right as it's presented, 48.215. It was 48.260, and there was some adjustments made, but I didn't pull that paper to show the adjustments, so I do think that will be okay. We have a month to do that. That's just a review. We'll catch it next time. Bob has fire contract, I believe, to review. Right?
Right, you have the original fire contract.
I do, someplace.
And then Barry, I gave
Copy
you
of it,
our
yes.
copies.
Yes.
And it's a 3-year contract. It's the same as we had spoken.
Who knows? Well, I tell you, it's like I like to lose papers up there. I don't know. Thought I stuck them in here, but I didn't do that either. Just give me a minute so I get
All right.
Well, they are paper.
Is it over there?
I don't know. I know we have. So I stuck it under here. There it is. There it is. There it is. It is a, you want to review it, Mom?
Yeah, I already did. But it reflects what we had spoke about before.
It's a 3-year.
It's $35,000 per year. Commences this month and then terminates December of 2017.
I like that that's what you're doing. Okay.
Well, it was an option that was offered, and it kind of fit into our plan.
Yeah, and by then we'll be up for, have to be cautious the next time about that.
Right.
Resolution number 2015-6. Someone want to make a motion to accept a fire service agreement with the Waterford?
I'll make that motion, Pat.
A second?
Second.
Mr. Hum?
Yes.
Mr. Minor?
Yes.
And Bob is excused. Absent.
Carl.
Oh, excuse
Bob's
me.
here.
And I wrote Bob too, just as I said.
Deja vu.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And then I'll need the original back. We'll need to sign the original.
This is the original
Yeah.
laptop. Okay. And you want that one back, and or was
You can keep those other copies. I just
Okay.
need the one back.
just going to do it with the 2 signatures, right?
Yeah.
You're going to take the original.
Right, after we make a copy of it.
Right. And I'll probably pop in with some things, but I don't have anything alarming to go over.
Okay. Mel?
Since last meeting, we've been out treating, plowing, salting the roads as necessary, when the weather coming in full effect now. When we're not doing that, we've been working on the ceiling in the hallways. You probably noticed on your way in.
Looks good.
Thank you. Grid work's all in place. The new lights are up, which we replaced the old wiring, and because not only to update the wire, but to add a ground wire because it didn't have them. Installed new exit lights and started installing and putting in the drop panels. So moving along, like I said, working on it when we have time to do so. We've also serviced the Case 521 loader, pressure washed, and performed some routine maintenance and minor repairs to the plow trucks. We mixed up salt and ashes to restock our bin, and I received delivery of 45 tons of salt. And the only other thing I really have tonight is Pat received this also in the mail. It's for a grant for signage that ODOT sent to us. I made copies of the letter that came with it, and the second page there I thought was kind of interesting too. It showed accidents in the township between 2009 and 2013, and they kind of have in the left-hand corner there at the bottom, you see they have a color code as the severity of the accidents. So I haven't gotten the chance yet because we just got this recently. I thought I'd go out and look at the locations where they were more severe and see if signage-wise if there was something we needed to do with them areas. That's really all I have for you guys tonight.
No purchase orders?
No purchase orders. Something for you to read over anyway and look at. Like I said, I thought that map was kind of interesting.
This is Hamilton.
So it's a 5-year
I
map?
don't think I have it.
Yes.
I don't think I have that one. In my packet.
Yours looks a little bit different from mine.
This is from Bert.
Yeah, you got it right here.
Oh, I have that, but I meant the letter you're looking at.
You don't have this?
But
You
this
may
is
have-
it.
You have a more detailed, you have the application. You can have a copy of this too.
When you get ready to do something, you can just give it to me.
Well, this just kind of talks about if we're going to do it, what
Okay,
has
I
to
will
be
take
done.
that. I will take that.
The deadline's the March 15th, and somebody has to attend the pre-meeting on February 11th in Columbus. So, you can get this. I'll make a copy.
This came from Bert, and yours came from the state, right?
Mine came directly from
Oh, and this came from Bert. That's why I think.
Okay.
Our next meeting is February 5th, right?
Correct.
Yes.
11th is on a Wednesday.
Is that when it's due back?
You have to...
Well,
attend
no,
the
that's
meeting.
when the meeting is, so we gotta send at least one person to the meeting.
It's Columbus.
Yeah.
I could go.
Why don't you and Mel go? I mean, that,
Unless you got 3 feet of snow, no.
Right.
well, that could be.
Because I think we look into it, because $50,000, would help us out quite a bit with some of our signs that we do have.
Yes.
What I have came from Bert, but I'm sure it's the same stuff.
Well, and there's no easy way to get to Columbus. So it's gonna be a long day. You guys wanna do it in one day, or, I mean, one day, drive down and drive by?
There's a road warrior, don't drive it.
Okay.
That's not the visit, Barry.
That's only 300
That
miles.
one very close
First
down.
day.
So we need a motion,
Yes, please. Resolution number 2015-8.
I'll move that motion, Pat. We attend on February 11th.
February 11, is it?
Yes.
yeah, from 9 to 11. What's in Barry?
It's Columbus at ODOT, right?
Yes.
I'll second it. How big is that auditorium?
Pretty good size.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Minor?
Yes.
Carl is absent.
Because there's like 1,308 townships in the state, and there's only going to be 100 of them? Only 100 of them that were selected?
That's what it said, that 100 of the townships.
That's the criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hadn't previously got.
Yeah.
What was the criteria, Rex?
Actually, crashes
Yeah.
throughout the township. There wasn't any one isolated area, but it was just throughout the...
It's too bad we
40 miles.
voted for that, isn't it?
We have a lot of traffic, so if you have a lot of traffic, you're gonna have more crashes.
Yeah, really.
Our roads are busy. Very. Like Barry said, it's not really isolated to one certain area, it's just gonna, almost map it, just shoosh all over.
But some of these, well, there's 3 intersections here, serious injuries, those are nasty intersections.
So you're going to go look at the signage, is that it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I ought to, take this map, the next time we do the sign
Be
inspection.
informed, huh?
Yeah, just kind of look these areas over.
I wonder if there's any way we can get time of day on these accidents,
I don't know.
because we've lit some of the intersections in the township.
The street lights,
Right.
Yeah.
Woodville's lit. Fairfield School is lit. Lower Elkton's not. Kirk. Signal.
Because Kelly Park and 7 is lit, and there's not any accidents at that intersection.
And Fairfield and 558 is actually kind of calmed down out through there. There for a while, it was a pretty hot intersection, and it seems like it's calmed down in that intersection. Why, I don't know. Because property damage only crashes, looks like, is the majority.
Yeah.
Right.
But then, like you said, Bob, there's some visible injuries out there too.
But some of these intersections, I wonder if this would cover lighting also. Because if we had an idea when the accidents occurred, maybe a security light would improve the intersection. If they don't have that data, I'm sure they could get it.
Right. Oh, I'm sure it's probably in a work record file that is directly correlated.
Somebody drew up that information, huh?
Yeah. Well, this all came from highway patrol.
Right.
Anything else, Bill?
That's it.
Pat, the road, was that 48.215? Is that what we got?
Yeah.
Was that?
I wrote
Yes.
that down, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right, because that's what I've had from before.
You wrote it down?
Yeah.
I just didn't pull the paperwork out. We had some adjustments, we made some adjustments, and then that was the net.
Right. Anything else, man?
No, that's it.
Barry?
I received a phone call and an email from Ohio Development Services Agency. It's just another follow-up piece of paperwork for the grant funding that we received for the $300,000. I'm just asking for, I gave Bob you a copy and Pat a copy. That's pretty one-sheet form. But I'll fill that out. I know I'll have to talk with Buckeye Transfer and get some of their payroll dollars and things like that out there for it.
Are they asking for all that, huh?
Yeah, a little bit of it, Pat. It's not as in-depth as what I thought it would be. Because I talked to them last week and just wanted to make sure what all they needed, and I'll go out and talk to Buckeye and get some information, and I'll get this sent out. And I'll give everybody a copy when I get it filled out.
Is this the one that had to do with creating jobs?
Yes, this was the Jobs Ohio, $125,000.
That's probably what they're looking for, huh?
That, and I asked him, I said, the job focus is really let the townships, and it was basically just see if the road project's been done, like the last one was. I think they're just trying to close the books out on all projects and make sure that it's been done, that the road work is done.
I'm surprised this doesn't have a number on it.
In that first block, it has an A. That,
Oh, okay, I get you.
That's,
The program name and
Yeah.
the number, yeah.
yep. Other than that, now we'll talk about this and we both of us get online and look at it, but I'm sure they'll walk us through the steps on the 11th while we're down there, so it's really, hopefully it doesn't snow that day.
Probably
Yeah.
do motion authorizing him to fill this out.
Okay. Let me see, resolution number 2015-9. Bob was suggesting that we
Yeah, we need to
give authorization to give Barry the authority to complete the form. And the form number, Barry, is the one on the bottom, SFPR, is that the number?
Yeah, that was the grant number itself.
Okay. Where do we have authorization to? Okay. We're going to give Barry the authorization to complete the consolidated report, 2014 Consolidated Annual Progress Report for the Road Development Grant 629, which was Esterly Drive project is what we called it. Someone make that a motion?
I'll move that motion.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Hung?
Yes.
Mr. Minor?
Yes.
Al is absent.
Anything else, sir?
That's all I have, other than spoke to Mr. DiTellio about the road project, and he's in attendance tonight, so.
Any prompt drawings? All I had, we took care of the fire contract with that.
Okay.
So Tony, what do you have?
Yeah, he did all the research, so
Okay.
I'm following his lead. He's my big brother, so I gotta do what I'm told. So, basically, we got a letter from the ODOT filling our comments that we have on the project they had. ODOT has on the intersection 161, 558. ODOT project number 164-20.
I can take, I'll
Project.
pick you up on the tape. Project what, please?
The project that we're filling our comments from residents in the area. I wrote a letter to ODOT to Shane Locke, who is the project manager for ODOT. Basically covers 4 areas. At least I feel there's 4 areas. First area was safety. Second area was environmental. And the third area was the hydraulics and drainage issue. Fourth area is the area basically due to the construction and drilling in the area, recent construction and drilling in the area. Numerous accidents at the intersection prompted ODOT to seek justification for the project based on safety issues. The project encompasses basically lowering the approach come from the north on 164 a couple hundred feet and raising the intersection up, elevating it so that the visibility was better, and removing some trees and south of the intersection on 164, as well as moving the drainage ditches over to give additional 10-foot of shoulder, both 558 and 164 on the west side of 164 and the south side of 558, that intersection. Comments that I have, and my brother as well, is they proposed leaving an open ditchway there, and they moved the ditches over, which, and that ditch is about 6 foot deep, and they have no plans to enclosure of the ditch, which disrupts the landscaping and the aesthetics of the residents in the area, which would be my brother Tony and myself. I have been enjoying the land. Safety-wise, moving the shoulder over, judging from the accidents we've witnessed, and I've been there over 40 years, almost 50 years. Tony's been there about 40. They would still end up over, when the accidents occur there, they always end up in the ditch right there. Moving the ditch over another 10 foot, they would just cruise another 10 feet, go down in the same ditch. The drawings that ODOT sent me, I reviewed the drawings. They're going to change the slope a little bit when they do add the shoulder. It would still, the cars would still end up, and the vehicles would still end up in that area. So that from a safety standpoint, what they're proposing does give them a little bit of shoulder. They have to pull up, but the accidents in the intersection wouldn't really improve anything. You'd still be down 6 foot down in the ditch, 10 foot further over. So their drawings doesn't really, from my point of view, doesn't satisfy the safety issues. Secondly, environmental issues would be the aesthetics of the residents in the area. We're in his yard and that sort of thing, so they have to take some trees out, which some of the trees improve visibility. Some of the other trees they want to remove doesn't really improve the intersection that well. And I think that's something we need to talk to the state a little bit more about, is how much how much of the landscaping or shrubs and stuff they want to remove, whether they're in line of vision or whether they're not. So that was environmental issue. Hydraulics issue, which would be the drainage issue. They have a couple of culverts that go under 164. One happens to be a 24-inch, which is the larger one. And the other one is a 12-inch culvert that drains, goes under 164. And they both drain over into the west side of 164, into an open ditch there. Both of those culverts eventually end up going back. The ditch or waterway goes under 558, probably several hundred feet west of the intersection on 558. That culvert's a 15-inch. So all the hydraulics of the drainage, there's nothing proposed to increase the size of the culvert on 558 down below. So you got a 24-inch, a 15-inch, or 12-inch. There really is only emptying into a 15 or 16-inch culvert downstream. In addition to that, we have all the surface water that comes off of the hillside south of our properties, and also west from behind the woods that empties into a basin where all this water collects and eventually ends up going under 558, and it always floods over the road down there. I mean, that's another issue. It's not part of this project, but it's another issue that should be addressed. Traffic-wise, or the fracking issue, we have a fracking pad on Woodsville Road that just became active here in the last couple months. We have a fracking pad down on 558 west on the Beaver Farm down there, about 2 or 3 miles. We have a fracking pad, of course, down on Miller Road, and I don't think they're in production. Either one of those pads are in production. But when they do get into production, the traffic at that intersection is going to become a lot greater. So, I mean, we've seen some activity since they put the pad in at that intersection, but when they start fracking, all the sand and the brine and that forth, that intersection is going to get real busy. Also, I talked to Barry about planning on putting a compressor station 3/10 of a mile north of the intersection of Fairfield School Road and 558. So there's going to be some traffic due to that compressor station on where they separate the oil and the gases. So those are the 4 issues that we're concerned about. What we would like to see is for them to enclose those ditches along 164 west into an enclosed culvert with catch basins, and a catch basin at the intersection at the southwest corner, as well as the culvert enclosure from the southwest corner of 550 and 164 west a couple hundred feet with catch basins. Now from that point, the water is going to go back into behind our places anyway, which is where it goes now, but at least that'll be enclosed and covered and feathered into Tony's existing yard to increase the aesthetics of the area, and as well as safety. They wouldn't end up in that big ditch. That ditch is about 6 foot from the invert to the top of the roadway. So those are the comments I have. I was unable to contact my other neighbors. One's in Florida and the other one was at work when I was trying to get in touch with them. But maybe at the next meeting I can have them come talk to Kneisic's, which on the other corner, so they're aware of what's going on. I think the only thing that affects them is the state proposed putting a 12-inch culvert from the Scott Schaefer's farm, which is the one that sits on the northeast corner of the intersection. They're going to put a catch basin on that corner and run it west across over the Rodney's area with another catch basin. Now, the corner's kind of skewed a little bit. It's not really a perpendicular intersection. It's kind of bent a little bit, so when the fracking trucks and any trucks that try and go through there, they kind of go over into Schaefer's yard there, or they have to stop and back up. So we've got all this fracking truck traffic that's going to occur here within the next year. Plus, in addition to that, we have all the trucks from the one trucking company down on Lodge Road that use that area. So when that all happens, that's really going to be that's going to happen, and we're not going to be prepared for it. And we're going to have a lot of issues. Another issue is if the fracking, if that was an open ditch, regardless of whether it's an open ditch or the catch basins are there, if there's an accident there because of the fracking trucks, and it happens to spill into that ditch enters into the drainage from that goes into a creek that runs into the North Fork of Little Beaver Creek. So that would pollute that stream. So that's really another environmental issue. So those are the comments I have. And I'll talk to my other neighbors. Talked to 3 or 4 of my neighbors already. They were unable to attend, but I will talk to Jim Sheets and his wife, as well as Scott Schaefer, to see if they'll come to the meeting and see if they have any concerns. I'm sure they will, because the grading on the east side of 164 over where Sheets' property is, it's going to affect all his landscaping in his front yard there. That's all lawn now. It used to be a gravel parking lot when the Grange was there, but he's already made that real nice and everything. They're going to come through there and grade that all down and put a berm in there. So that's just going to, destroy the stakes of his yard as well. And the other thing I'm trying to bring up is we want them to kind of do the job right. They have a little bit of proactive approach instead of waiting for them to go ahead and do all this and then have to change or complain about it, and that's more difficult. I know the engineering's all done. It would have been nice if we could have had some input prior to that. I mean, I've talked to them when they were up there surveying and everything, told them our same concerns. I'm sure Barry's talked to them as well. So those are our concerns, and we'll have more people to the next meeting. That's about all I got.
Have you spoken with these folks?
Yes.
This Stratton?
Yes. Yes, I talked to Tom Stratton, and I talked to Shane Locke, and I talked to Shane Locke is the design engineer for District 11 in ODOT, and I talked to Tom Stratton, he's the environmental coordinator, and I talked to Bill Marcy, who's the engineer for 2LM and Incorporated, who did the engineering, as well as I've got all the drawings here to review.
But if you're southbound on 164 to the north of that intersection, they're going to raise that roadbed 10 feet? Is that what you're saying?
They're going to lower the roadbed. There's a belly in there. North of the intersection, there's a belly there. And what happens is cars that approach that intersection from the north are hidden down in that little belly.
Right.
So what they want to do is they want to grade the roadway down, maybe 100 foot north of that intersection, and then they want to raise the intersection up a little bit. So that there's no car hidden in that little pocket there.
Back by Landerman's going that direction.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
Well, this is an ODOT project. It's the intersection of 2 state roads. Why can't we have a meeting or something?
I would say that, we probably should sit down, because I think, I'm very familiar with that intersection. I tried a few years ago to close that ditch line, and I wasn't able because of force account limits to be able to accomplish that work. I talked to Shane Locke. The reason that intersection on there, it met the criteria for the district safety review team. So that's why that intersection fell into a sale date of April of 16. And that project isn't locked down yet, but it probably will be, because projects do move around. In April of 16 is what Shane told me is when that is supposed to go to sale. So construction, if you would probably take 2 months, 2.5 months, construction would be the summer of 16, is what I was
In
told.
December, you said?
Summer.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, it
sorry.
would be May or June past July. It would be
Okay.
a summertime project with what's encompassed. So I stressed my concerns about the open ditch line. Shane, I haven't seen the plans, and I know you have those tonight. To the southwest corner, it's my understanding they're going to go another 7 feet towards your property.
Right.
And then that ditch line will go from a 2-to-1 now to a 3-to-1, is what I'm told. So it'll be less gradual than what it is out there right now. That's what.
I don't think that's correct. I think you're talking about the west side of 164.
The southwest side of Tony's front yard.
Yeah, it's 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 is what, I think they're looking for 2-to-1, or maybe it's a 3-to-1.
I think it's 2-to-1, Dan, and then after the project, it'll be 3.
Yeah, I can look on the drawings.
If I remember talking to Shane last week, I think that's what he said. And I didn't ask him what the northwest corner, is that going to be another 7 feet
I don't think so.
into the farm field?
I
You
don't
know,
think so.
I don't, so I didn't ask him that. But I think you're right, Bob. I think that, we could have them come up and at least we could address some of the concerns. As you said, this is a state project, it's 2 state routes, but as township officials, I think we ought to be able to have an open and honest dialogue with them.
Right.
To discuss this project, because it's been a hindrance in the township for quite a few years, and there's been quite a few accidents, which denotes the reason for the safety review team designating this intersection.
Well, I wrote a letter to Shane myself, and I copied you on, but unfortunately you couldn't open it because my software is old. He was able to open the software, and once I get the letter printed, I can get a hard copy to you. I did copy you on it, but you were unable to open it.
Can we keep those plans tonight and just make,
I got set identical to this.
Sure.
Can we just get a set of those, that way we don't have to email, and we can sit down and start looking at them too?
Sure. Did you say you got a set of?
No, I have not.
Okay, yeah, I can.
When I talked to Shane, he had said that you guys had received, or he had sent plans, so I just kind of left it at that.
I got set just like.
Did you want to look at it tonight then, or?
Yeah, we can after, if you
Yeah,
want to spend a few minutes after the meeting and take a look at them,
Probably
that's
have a
fine.
set so I can use this.
I didn't think to bring it tonight.
That's fine.
One thing I wanted to point, anyway, what I just talked about was incorporated in that letter that I wrote to Shane. And I copied also Tom on it, but I didn't send it to him. But one thing I wanted to point out was I did some estimating on the cost of enclosing that culvert. Now, what the state proposed to do is they're going to put large rocks in this open ditchway, big boulders, all the way along 164, all the way along 558. They were proposing putting a 24-inch culvert in. I don't think that's big enough to handle the water that's in there, judging from what we've witnessed in the past.
24 inches south of the intersection up by
Yeah.
the Grange, right? The
Yeah.
old Grange.
Yeah.
That comes across and then it runs to the intersection, comes down.
The problem with that is, and you probably know, with a 24-inch, even if they go to a 30-inch, if we put in a culvert pipe in there, a closed culvert pipe, right now with a 24-inch or 30-inch opening and dumping into an open ditch, the open channel flow offers a lot less resistance. So if you go to enclosed channel flow, you're going to require a larger diameter enclosed culvert. So I'm thinking they need at least a 36-inch in there, to go around that corner to handle that water in there. So I run some estimates on it. I figure there's about 240 foot of 36-inch culvert pipe that needs to go in there, and probably 240 foot of 12-inch culvert pipe that needs to go in there. And I estimated the cost of that, and I got pricing from Ray Smith down in Lisbon for the culvert pipe. It was like, for the 36 inch was about $8,000, and for the, say, 15 inch instead of 12, it would be about $2,000. And I figured about 5 catch basins. The 15-inch catch basins were about $700 a piece, and 36-inch catch basins were around $2,800 a piece. So I figured the total additional cost would be about $16,000. So we're looking $15,000 to $20,000. I don't know what the overall project cost or construction costs are. I would imagine they're like greater than that. I don't even think
I'm sure they have estimates.
So all I'm saying is, rather than put those big rocks in there and pay to have that put in there, why don't we put the money into an enclosed culvert and put some catch basins in? And probably it's insignificant to the overall cost of the project. And it would be done right, and it'd be done permanently, and we wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. If it's done the way they propose, it's still going to have accidents, it's still going to be aesthetically a sore spot, and it's going to create a problem for the fracking issues that are going to come up here in the next couple of years.
Well, if you could leave those plans, that would be great. You'll get them back.
Sure.
And my thoughts are, you want to get hold of Shane and see how they would like to handle it. Or they want to come to a formal meeting, or if they just want to have, an individual meeting with a few people. As long as we're complying with sunshine laws, we're fine.
Yeah.
So if they just want to have a private meeting, I think it would be wise for you to be there and Nell to be there, and you folks, and just sit down and work some of these bugs out.
Sure, I can get a hold of my other neighbors and they can have their input too.
And one thing too, they were going to have highway management look down lower, below your place down on 558 for the right sizing of that culvert too.
Oh, really?
So I know Shane had said he had turned that over to highway management.
I knew that was another issue.
Yeah, and they're going to look at that through highway management.
Because you brought up a lot of good points with all the fracking that's going on, and truck traffic's just increased tremendously in this township. So, now's the time to kind of iron out these things. So that's okay with you folks. I think if Shane or somebody, I think that's the better way to work it out. Let's see what they're willing to do. I mean, even if it delays the project, at least it'd be done right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The engineering's done now, so they might resist it a little bit because they've already expended the money to have all the engineering drawings done, and all that planning done. Now I'll have to go back and basically start over again.
Gary, don't they ever let you know when they're planning something like that? They just come up with it?
Well, they did with their letter.
Yeah.
Sent your letter in the mail.
Yeah. And this is the comment period.
If it would have been a state route, a county route, there would have been notification to the county or state
All
township.
state.
Yeah.
It would have been notified to us.
Yeah.
We really...
We're kind of poking our nose into it.
That's good.
Here's Tony, did that.
You have that.
Oh, okay. All right. And I don't feel they're going to have to start all over, because all you're suggesting is that they tweak it a little bit. And now's the time to do it.
Yeah, they got all the traffic plans figured out, they're all in here, the traffic flow. I mean, that wouldn't change any.
Right, right.
Just the grading and size of the culverts and...
Because at one time, the engineering, when things are on, by the time they decide to do something, they put it on the board, it's a like 2-year period, isn't it? I mean, it's a lengthy period.
Well, you figure the plans are done now, where it's January of 15 and sales date's not until April of 16.
Yeah.
So a 2-year window is pretty accurate.
They probably got a bid and everything else. They're going to go out for bids. All the outside contractors doing the work, so there's bidding periods. Familiar with all that kind of stuff.
Every year will roll around quick.
Yeah, well, it's quite a procedure to do what they're doing. Okay. Well, I think that would work out.
Yeah, we did it that way, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to find out what the overall project cost is, so we know what the additional, what this 15 to 20,000.
I'm sure they have estimates on it.
I just wonder how much
And
that
then
would...
once it goes to bid, they're allowed to go a certain percentage over the original estimate, so I'm sure there's an estimate out there right now, Dan, as far as that.
I guess my point is, I just wonder how much that would...
They can always bid your suggestion as an alternative, an alternate, if they want to. Because there would be some set-off expenses. You no longer need the stone, because you're going to do it another way. So, who knows? But it's not going to hurt to ask.
I asked for comments, that's why I'm here.
Well, we appreciate you folks coming.
Problem is, we're not ODOT.
Well, they got my letters. They've heard the same thing you...
All right. Anything else?
That's all I got.
That's it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, Barry, when you get a hold of Shan, you just get a hold of them and Mel.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll get my neighbors, if you guys want to get together, I'll get my neighbors.
Well, we can't have a meeting. The sunshine law. So I don't want 2 trustees there or 3 trustees. We'll just have 1 trustee, Mel, and you folks sit down with the state and kind of
Okay.
work some bugs out, and then at our next meeting, we'll go over it
Okay, that's fine.
with that.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay? Anything else?
That's it.
Right. Well, it's nice to see new faces. Normally we gotta look at him.
What you see is what you say.
Mary Ann.
I have no comment.
And that dark, handsome stranger in the back.
Boy, you're trying to get on my side now.
All right, anything else, folks? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Now, can I have a copy of that? Or rather, can Pat have a copy of it? And then I'll need that original back.